Hi everyone, this is Tisch again, and it is June 5th, 2021, and today there are two factors going on. Mercury squared Neptune at 3:05 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and Mars opposes Pluto at 3:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And many are feeling the hazy and creative energy of Neptune. Mercury, of course, is retrograde. I'm a broken record, as are many astrologers, but it is retrograde. We are in eclipse season. That brings things to light, and we're building up to a solar eclipse on June 10th, which means that energy is very heightened. A lot of change, a lot of people making critical decisions and turning points, a lot of moves and leaving jobs or quitting or starting new directions, new jobs, new things. But of course the last eclipse, total lunar eclipse, May 26th, and that was a south node eclipse that occurred at 5 degrees 25 minutes of Sagittarius. So we're building up from a full moon eclipse that was very emotional, and south node means that there's something that no matter what you need to release in order to move forward with this energy. And often there are departures with eclipses in general. If people are hanging on by a thread, and if situations are hanging on by a thread, well, often they get eclipsed out. And now we've got volatility in the sky because Mars at Pluto is not fun energy. It can be trouble with with cars and electronics. Definitely can be blowout fights, can be very combative energy, with that to lay low. And also with Mercury squaring Neptune this weekend, there's confusion and potentially misunderstandings. Mercury is already retrograde in Gemini, which is tricky enough. So now we're building up to a solar eclipse that takes place on June 10th at 6:53 a.m. Eastern Daylight. And we're all feeling that build up as well, definitely. And again, Mercury's retrograde. It will be in that eclipse chart. It's also just a degree off from the eclipse. It's part of this eclipse story. And we have Venus out of bounds, which means that she is beyond 23 degrees and 27 minutes north or south of the equator, and she's acting up. She's in Cancer, which is a lovely placement, very nurturing and kind. Cardinal signs make things happen, but she's definitely a little out of whack, and there is a very Neptunian tone in the sky and definitely in this eclipse. So the eclipse occurs again at 6:53 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. A solar eclipse is always a new moon eclipse. So definitely it's a time to set intentions, to honor beginnings that you want to initiate in your life. But if you're planning something really big, it may be a good idea to wait till when Mercury stations direct and when the eclipse energy wanes at the end of this month, even more so in early July. But when big opportunities land in your life, definitely, obviously, take it and seize it. It's happening for a reason. The nodes of fate are involved in eclipses, so fated circumstances and events definitely occur, and a lot of information in this eclipse season is getting brought to light. Mercury likes to talk, and Mercury has been talking a lot, and it was out of bounds for the majority of the month of May, so it was behaving as if it were retrograde. So now it is retrograde, and in the eclipse chart, so this coming week, the moon enters Gemini on Tuesday, which I believe, let's see, is the 8th, at 2:47 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, building up to that new moon eclipse that is on June 10th at 6:53 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Convert to your time zone. Set intentions. Write down intentions. Mercury rules thoughts and written ideas. Write out, journal your intentions. Say them out loud. If you have a friend that's into manifesting, or a group, even better. Really strong energy. The moon meets up with Mercury at 8:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time and helps us all to process this information emotionally. Now, I cast the chart for Washington, D.C., and the chart has Cancer ascendant. Whatever rules the rising sign rules the chart. So therefore, the moon rules the chart because the moon rules the sign of Cancer, and it's a new moon eclipse, and all of the planets in Gemini, all this, the sun, the moon, those are the lights of the chart, but the north node of destiny are all, and Mercury retrograde, are all in the 12th house, which is the Pisces house in astrology. It's the house of imagination, it's the house of spirituality, it can be the house of undoing and endings, but it's a house of really listening to your dreams and messages, and there will be many dreams and messages involved, and this again I feel further enhances the very strong Neptunian quotient to this, because Jupiter is in Pisces. It's going to retrograde on the 20th, on the solstice. Neptune is in Pisces. It's going to retrograde on the 25th. We feel the buildup of those stations 5 days before and 5 days after. We've got a loaded 12th house, hidden information, things getting uncovered, which eclipses already like to do, and Mercury retrograde often does. Pay attention to the people that are reappearing in your life, things that are coming up, the stories that are going on. The eclipse itself is at 19 degrees and 47 minutes of Gemini. And this eclipse sets off where Neptune has essentially been transiting the last few years. Is going back approximately 2018 and 2019, especially last year. 19 and 20. 2019 and 2020 was at 19 degrees of the mutable water sign of Pisces. But this new moon eclipse is setting that off. Maybe more revelations in your own lives. Maybe, hopefully, you can really tap into the spiritual component of this. That is essential. I think what's interesting is that Venus is conjunct the ascendant in the eclipse chart in Cancer, emphasizing the need for love, which is always necessary in getting us through a difficult time. And then Neptune rules the midheaven. Pisces is on the midheaven, therefore Neptune is the most elevated planet. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, spiritual, selfless love. And it's confusion, and certainly with all of this energy there is a lot of confusion, but later in the week the Sun will square Neptune on June 13th. So, we do have a lot of Neptunian energy at play, and of course, two planets in the mutable water sign of Pisces. Jupiter is in the house of manifesting and hope and optimism in this chart, helping us to connect to the dream we want to manifest, because there is a lot of emphasis on dreams. Very, very important. The 12th house can be challenging, it can be confusing in that, we're already navigating very murky and emotional waters, but it can also connect you to magic and really achieving the dream if you do whatever it is for you in a healthy way to get there. Listening to music, chanting, clearing your space, getting rid of clutter to bring in healthy and positive energy, eliminating people that are toxic, which often happens with eclipses anyway. They can get eclipsed out of your life. But if there's a situation where you feel that you can work it out in some way and you don't want to eclipse a person or a situation out of your life, then I recommend figuring out really listening to what's coming up for you and processing this, doing some manifesting, praying, whatever it is for you, trying to maybe work with clear quartz. It's a really good crystal to hold your intentions. It's proven to hold your intentions. And also I would do a clearing, like the windows, burn some sage or Palo Santo, whatever you like. Just get rid of the energy and just really focus on what you want to manifest, because the 12th house rules the imagination and the subconscious mind. And this is very much about tapping into your imagination. Later in the day, when the moon goes void of course, it squares Neptune, of course, to add all of this Neptunian and creative energy. This is really good energy for the artists and the empaths and the creative people out there, because Neptune is so creative. Again, can be very emotional, and eclipse seasons generally are very busy, pressured, and they can be very emotional. But tap into the dream. Void of course moon square Neptune. Well, again, things are getting uncovered in our lives, and it is sometimes a little bit wonky with Mercury retrograde and Venus out of bounds, which it will be until June 18th, but we're all navigating those waters together. And then the Sun meets Mercury in Gemini at 13 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and brings more information of how you can work and learn and connect and network, because there are so many possibilities and options and choices with Gemini. And Mercury is in its dignity. That is excellent. Jupiter is in its dignity by ancient astrology. That is excellent. So that's very helpful. And I wish you all a lot of luck. It's going to be a very busy month for all of us. We're still in the beginning part. It seems like it is going by a little more slowly since Jupiter shifted signs on May 13th. Does not seem as rapid to me, at least, as when Jupiter was still in Aquarius, which it will re-enter on July 29th. So tap into the magic. If things and people are eclipsed out of your lives, well, there's a reason. But also, there are a lot of new things to bring into your life with this. Setting intentions, focusing on things you want to learn. This is the new age of Aquarius, which is really a time to learn and upgrade your technical skills, to connect with community, to network, to really upgrade your social skills, because before technology, people socialized and networked in person. So that could be a good skill for all of us to readdress. And Mercury will be in its rulership until July 11th. So we've got it a while, and I wish you all a lot of luck. Thank you.